Before you get married, the preachers say, in sickness and in health. And when you make those vows, you need to make sure that you're not having a treasure chest of demons and secrets that this man don't know about, because he shouldn't have to deal with the skeletons in your closet. You should have dealt with that already. This episode is going to be about the reasons why your boyfriend doesn't want to marry you. And I think this episode is very important to make, and I think it's a very important conversation to discuss and talk about, because a lot of women are very clueless as to why they never get to the phase where a man asks to have your hand in marriage. They clueless. I want you to look at this episode like an emotional GPS to a man's heart and reasons for why he does and doesn't do something. So let's paint a scenario for who this type of episode might be for. You are a woman who's been dating a guy, let's call him John. You've been dating John for about 2-3 years. 2-3 years now, things are getting serious. You're definitely not getting any younger. Y'all moved in with each other. You might even had a child. You might have even had a child. So you are raising a family with this man, but time and time continues to pass on, and you look up and you realize, when is this nigga gonna ask me to be his wife? Because you don't want to just be a regular girl, right? You see the other wives, you in the grocery store, you out in public, and you seeing the husband and with his wife and his kids, and you see an image of something out in life and in movies and magazines that you want for yourself. But then you ask yourself, why won't this man marry me? I do everything he asked me to do. So you think something went wrong. He started to notice things. He started to see things that made him fearful, that made him scared. And those issues, maybe he voiced them or maybe he didn't. He should have. But you know, men, we see ourselves keeping the peace by remaining silent, which sometimes that's very true, but for the majority of the time, not only do we hurt the relationship, but men hurt ourselves. And if you're a woman listening to this right now, I know you might be thinking, but that doesn't make any sense. If he's not happy and something is going on, why doesn't he communicate to me about it? Why doesn't he voice his opinion? Well, he probably doesn't voice his opinion to you because you have proven to him that you are not a safe space. Because there was that one time when he tried to open up to you, but you didn't receive the message. It was that one time when he tried to tell you something, but you made him feel small. You made him feel disrespected. You made him feel like he wasn't a priority. In this podcast, I'm going to give you 6 reasons, 6 things that probably transpired in this relationship that inspired him to not look at you like a wife anymore. Those are the things that we're going to talk about in this episode, man. One of the reasons why he probably doesn't want to marry you, because you've already proven to him that your emotions come before his respect. Now, what do I mean by that? If you've been in a relationship with a woman, then it's no secret to you that women are very strongly driven by how they feel. Men are more socialized from birth to be more logical beings, right? We're more of a 1 + 1 = 2 kind of people, right? And we continue out our life from boys becoming men to use that same frame of logic. And as the logical beings that men are, it is very confusing to us when women are having an emotional breakdown and it seems to be that they are not in control of themselves because they just feel so strongly about something. Now, I cannot speak for all men, but me personally, when I'm not feeling my best, right, for whatever reason why that might be, I try my very best to compartmentalize my feelings so they don't get to you. Because they don't have nothing to do with you in the first place. You know, I might have an issue going on in my job, or I might have checked my balance and realized like, damn, I ain't got as much money as I thought I would. Whatever the case may be. Maybe I'm even hungry. Maybe I'm hangry. But I try my best to compartmentalize those things so I can make sure that I'm not treating you unfairly or I'm not being negative to you in a way that you don't deserve. And obviously, this is not speaking for all women, but I think I do speak for a majority of them when I do say a lot of women, when y'all having a bad day, that's going to be a bad day for me too. If you wake up this morning and you leave the house without eating because you done convinced yourself that I don't eat breakfast and now it's 3 p.m. and you catching an attitude with me, that's the type of shit that'll scare, man. If we had plans to go on a date and things are not really going the way you envisioned it, maybe I showed up 10 minutes late, maybe you the reason why we 10 minutes late. But either way, if things are not going your way, that is not an excuse to be sassy or be short-tempered or be frustrated with that man. As a man, I would never try to trivialize the pain or the discomfort that you go through when it's that time of the month, because I will never know what that feels like. I will never know what that feels like. So never am I trying to make it seem like it's that much of a big deal. But I do raise the question, if you 30 and you've been having periods for 30 years of your life, at what point do you get to a point where you at least know how to conduct yourself in a way that keep the peace for everybody? At what point? And let me say this one more time, because a man will never truly understand how difficult it is for you in that time, he should extend you grace. And he should be as understanding as he possibly can. But let me tell you something. Just because you on your period, that don't mean you off the hook. It don't mean you could talk to me crazy. It don't mean you could say anything you want. It doesn't mean it doesn't give you a free pass to be a brat as long as you want to. No, it don't do that. Those are the type of things that scares a man. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that you should be nailing it and getting it perfect every single time. But I do want to see you try. Now, the second reason why he might be afraid to marry you, because he probably doesn't think you're going to get better with time. Again, one thing that I'm going to talk about a lot is men choosing to be silent when we should be communicating and speaking. I think it's toxic. I've done it myself. We think that we're keeping the peace or we're maintaining the bad energy by being quiet. We think if we don't share anything, we think not sharing anything is better than oversharing and you getting upset, which causes us to be stressed. And then you probably won't even get to a place where you find the results that you're looking for. And now everything's fucked. That's how we feel. Which even saying that out loud is crazy because if you feel like when you share something with your woman that it's probably gonna go bad, then that's probably a really good sign that this is not the girl for you. If you're the type of girl who always talking about what you're going to do, always telling me and assuring me of these dreams and these goals and these aspirations and these benchmarks that you want to reach in your life, right? You telling me everything that you want to do, but how come I don't never see you do it? Every single thing. You said you got dreams. You said you was gonna go back to school. You complain about hating your job so much, but I never see you try to go out and get another one. All you want to do is come back and gossip to me about it. It can be very scary for a man to continuously hear his woman talk about everything that she wants to do, everything that she could do, but she never gets around to doing it. Because just like women are attracted to ambitious men, men are attracted to women who keep their word, bro. We aren't that different. We want ambitious women too. And more importantly, when a woman says that she's gonna do something, it makes us feel good that she actually goes out and does it. Because as a man, your biggest fear is getting locked in with somebody who just gonna get worse and worse with time, gonna get more out of shape, develop more health problems, gonna get further deeper into their depression, deeper into their trauma, deeper into their stress, deeper into their anxiety. That's not what we want. If I say I'm gonna marry a woman and I'm gonna take your hand in marriage, I wanna be looking forward to a future where everything is getting better. We getting better with time. We learning how to talk to each other better. We learning how to communicate better. We learning how to respect each other better. We learning how to love each other better. And to tell the truth, where a lot of men fuck up on this is you meet a girl exactly how she is and then you create expectations for her. And then you get into a relationship with her because the sex is good, because y'all had a couple good moments shared together. But as men, we play ourselves because when you met that girl, she was smoking cigarettes, and now you're a year and a half into the relationship and you complaining about her smoking cigarettes. That's not fair to her, and more importantly, it's definitely not fair to you. But these are the type of things that'll make a man nervous and make a man timid to wanting to ask for your hand in marriage because he see things that are problems today that could be really big problems later on in life. And as a woman, you got to ask yourself, what kind of self-development do I need to do? Not even for him, for yourself. What kind of self-development do I need to be investing my time into to make sure that not only is my personal future secure, but my husband still loves me and our relationship is in a good place too? Because the thing about taking care of your own mental health is not only does it make your life more quality, but it makes your partner's experience with loving you more quality as well. And when you love somebody, that's all you should ever want for them. The only thing that you owe to your partner is making sure that you are the best version of yourself. That's the only thing that you owe. And when you give the love that you and when you give yourself the love and attention that's needed, you become a better wife for your husband. You become a better husband to your wife. But when you neglect yourself and you continue to not keep your word to yourself, you become a worse version of yourself, and that becomes more unattractive to us as men. If you said you was gonna go to the gym, go to the gym. If you said you was gonna stop smoking cigarettes, stop smoking cigarettes. You said you was gonna stop drinking, stop drinking. And for the fellas, I gotta hold you accountable too, because if you met that girl as a party girl, do not expect her to become Felicia Rashad 6 months into the relationship all because you love her. If you love her, then love her the way she was when you found her. You cannot make people be somebody else. But if you're gonna be in a committed relationship where the both of y'all are sure that y'all want to spend the rest of your lives together, then you need to do the things that you said you was gonna do. And more importantly, if it really bothers your partner, then you need to be open to the idea of letting some things go. Because a lot of the time people feel defensive. They feel defensive. They got their guard up when their partner want them to change something because they feel like you're trying to change me. but I'm not really trying to change you. I'm trying to change something that you do. That's not who you are. That's just a thing that you do. And it's unfortunate that this even has to be said, but just because somebody loves you doesn't mean that they fully trust you. It doesn't mean that when you tell them they should change something because you notice a behavior that probably is not going to look good for them in the long run, it doesn't mean that they won't get defensive and won't feel like you're attacking them, even though they love you. Even though that woman loves you, it might make her feel defensive to hear you say things about her that you don't like. But if he's not asking you to do something that'll force you to compromise your self respect, all I'm saying is consider what he's saying. Consider what he's saying because chances are the thing that he doesn't like about you, the thing that he doesn't like that you do, it's not actually who you are. It's just the thing that you do. And you got to ask yourself, what's more important? Letting go of this thing that I do or holding on to the true love that we have in this relationship? Nobody wants to invest into anything that starts good today and ends bad tomorrow. That is literally the definition of a liability. You buy a new car today, everything works fine. 2 years from now, the transmission going out, and you got to take it to the shop, and it's costing you more money than you actually spent to buy it in the first place. You do not want to be that person to your partner. And if you really love your partner and you really committed to the growth of your relationship, be open to letting some things go. What's the big deal? It ain't like the nigga asking you to change your religion. The nigga just saying, hey, there's a couple things that you do that I don't really care for. And it'll bring me more peace in the future if you find a way to leave those things in the past because the future that we growing towards, it's a brighter tomorrow. And I want to see you there with me. Now, the third reason why he might be afraid to marry you because he's probably realized that you're not over the traumas of your past. Oh, man, I cannot stress to you how important this one is. There are so many great women in this world, women who are smart, creative, resilient, powerful, funny, community leaders. I'm talking about the best words that you could assign to a person. Women are smart, creative, powerful, funny, intelligent, community leaders, spiritual leaders. Women are leaders of love. Women are leaders of selflessness. Women are leaders of protecting the family. But as easy as it is for me to speak about all of the things that make women great, women are also just as equally finessed, oppressed, taken advantage of, emotionally manipulated, financially manipulated, stolen from, attacked, demonized. Malcolm X says that the black woman is the most unprotected person in America. And you got to understand that with that is going to come trauma. Trauma from your parents not being in your life and protecting you. Trauma from thinking that you could trust an uncle or auntie to watch over you and babysit you when the parent had to go to work and make the money, but then they did something to abuse you and manipulate you and take advantage of you. Trauma for putting your trust into a man that you thought loved you just as much as you love him, but then he hurt you. Trauma comes in so many shapes and forms in a woman's lifetime, and it's unfortunate that a woman's purity and chances of living a wholesome life was taken away from her because somebody had malicious and evil ways and motives. And before I even get to the next part, that first part has to be said. It has to be laid out on the table because too many women have become victims to somebody who was supposed to protect them. But ladies, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you this one very real thing. If you do not get over your trauma, if you do not find a way to get over your trauma, it is going to ruin any great relationship that you find for yourself. You may very well find your Prince Charming. You might meet the guy who's perfect for you. But if you do not get over the traumas of your past, you will ruin the relationship. There's a great chance that you might ruin that relationship by accident because you don't know no better, because you're operating at the best capacity that you can with what you've been given. But you haven't taken the time to go to therapy. Instead, you've been brushing your demons underneath the bed so you don't got to deal with them. But you know what? The longer you do that, those demons are going to become a problem for him to solve later. And he shouldn't have to deal with that. I'm not saying that by the time you meet your fiance that you have to be perfect and you got to have all the kinks rubbed out. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is there is a certain amount of personal work and shadow work that needs to be done. So by the time that you meet him, a lot of the heavy lifting is already out of the way so y'all can get to the love. We all know there's no such thing as a perfect relationship where y'all don't have any problems, but it's the kind of problems that y'all have that you want to make sure that you prioritize. You do not want to be having the type of relationships where you going bad on him and you getting mad at him and you screaming at him and you treating him like the person that hurt you because you're not over your past. You don't want to do that because that's going to make him lose his respect for you and that's going to make him feel like he can't trust you. A traumatized person can hurt a healthy person because they don't know how to love you without hurting you. And the scary part about it is they don't even mean to do it. It's just that their life is so traumatized that they do things that they can't control. When they look back at it, it's clear to them that they was wrong. But in the moment, they feel like they protected themselves. They feel like they're making the right choice because all they've ever known is defending themselves in the world being the enemy. They don't know what it's like to completely let their guard down and let someone in because the last time they had their guard down, someone took advantage of them. And that's how they got here in the first place. And I want to let you know that I empathize with that and I understand that most importantly. But at some point, that cannot continue to be something that you just continue to keep with you and you expect people to understand. That is not that man's job. It is his job to love you through your worst if he's going to marry you. Before you get married, the preachers say, in sickness and in health. And when you make those vows, you need to make sure that you're not having a treasure chest of demons and secrets that this man don't know about because it's going to be hard for any person to deal with that. Even though they made this vow to God, even though they made that vow, because he shouldn't have to deal with the skeletons in your closet. You should have dealt with that already. Now, the fourth reason why he could be afraid to marry you is because you probably don't respect his authority. I know we living in an era where we're redefining terms and we're looking at things in a more progressive way, but I'ma just say, on behalf of a whole lot of men in this world, if I don't feel respected by you, I'm not looking forward to a future with you. And I think the opportunity to let your man know you respect him comes up every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. Those opportunities come up when the two of you are discussing finances and you want to do something with your money. He thinks, baby, I think we should save it and save our money to do this. Maybe we should make an investment. Maybe we shouldn't go shopping right now. Maybe we shouldn't be going out to eat right now. I think we should be conserving our money and doing this. If your man is saying stuff like that, and you giving him attitude and you telling him things like, respectfully, but this is my money, I don't want to do what you talking about, that man not gonna feel like you respect him. And if he don't feel like you respect him, then he's not looking forward to a lifelong partnership and experience with you because that means he's just gonna have a headache for the rest of his life. I think in a relationship, there are times where the man and the woman have to be submissive to each other. I really believe that. But I especially think that if this is the man that you have chosen, then why would you not respect him? Because what I don't understand is if you love him and respect him enough to protect you and to be your eyes when you can't see, then why is it so hard to trust him when he has a different vision for something that you don't? Because once again, I believe submission is a give and take that we both have to partake in. But it doesn't really scream wife qualities when, as a man, you want to do something that I think we shouldn't do because maybe it's going to save us stress. Maybe we really can't afford it. Maybe I just think that it's really not a good idea and we should just not do it. I'm not saying that you have to side and agree with every difference of opinion that he has from yours. But what I am saying is, it's not what you do, it's always how you do it. Even if you disagree with that man, at least consider what he's saying because you know what? He'll feel respected. But the minute a man feel like you don't respect his authority in the relationship, he gonna start being quiet. He gonna stop telling you things because he rather seek peace. He gonna stop touching you. He gonna stop being romantic with you. He gonna stop being cute. He gonna stop wanting to take you out on dates. He's going to stop. And because he pulling back, you gonna start pulling back. And the whole relationship is just falling apart. You don't want that, man. And you can save yourself from all of that headache and all of that stress by just learning how to make him feel like his voice and his opinion matters. Make him feel like his voice matters, man. Because when you make him feel like his voice doesn't matter, it bruises his ego. And it's hard for a man to continue being the man when he doesn't feel respected, when he doesn't feel appreciated where he is. You know, as they say, go where you respected, not tolerated. Make that man feel respected because the minute he feel tolerated, he gonna stop being the man that you fell in love with. And then you're gonna start to see the demise and the decline of the relationship. That's less affection, that's less love, that's less cuddles, that's less dates, that's less sex. That's less when you should be experiencing more. You should be experiencing abundance. If you were showing that man early signs that you might not respect him now, then he not looking forward to marrying you later. He not gonna put a ring on that finger because why would I sign up for future stress? Why would I buy a car that I know is gonna break down on me in the future? Nah, I'm going for the long haul. Now the fifth reason, woo. The fifth reason why he might be afraid to marry you is because you weaponize sex against him. We know that we love sex. We know that the quickest way to get our attention is to cut the water off. But let me tell you something. You trying to weaponize sex against that man to get him to do what you want, that's a very dangerous game. And I'm not saying that you have to be having sex with that man. If you don't want to have sex with him, baby, that's your body. Don't have sex with that man. But what I am saying is find another way to get him to really understand that you're not playing about the shit that you asking for. Find another way. What you don't want to do is you don't want to make a man feel that you could be so cold that you'll dangle a carrot over him when you know he's hungry. Because this is something that I wonder if women ever think about. In no way is cheating ever okay. But can you really be surprised if you're not having sex with him on purpose to teach him a lesson and then he go out and have an affair with his work wife because the temptation is getting harder to fight off? Why would you even put your man in that scenario? If you're really trying to stand on business as a woman, find another way to do it. Just break up with him. Again, cheating is wrong. And if you decided to be in a committed relationship with this woman, you should honor that commitment because if that girl is your fiance or your wife, that's supposed to mean something. That's supposed to be a special covenant, right? Your name is all you got. And if you have said that I'm going to be faithful to you and you are going to be my woman and my only one, then you got to respect that and that got to mean something. But ladies, don't press your luck. He is not Superman and he is definitely not Jesus. There is only so far a man can go before he starts to develop an idle mind and exploring other choices. Because any woman who's willing to weaponize sex is a woman who's willing to hurt you in way greater ways into the future. You just haven't seen it yet. And last but not least, the sixth reason why he's probably afraid to marry you is because if you ever didn't work out and y'all have children, he might think that if you ever separated that you would use the kids to hurt him. We all know about a couple, we all know about a family who got divorced, everything went to shit, the man lost everything, the woman lost everything, they lost the house. They lost the lifestyle that they had. The family's broken apart. We all know about these stories. We all know. It is a man's worst fear, even beyond his worst fear. It is the worst thing that could ever happen to a man. There's no greater fear of mine. Other than getting divorced, which is a huge fear of mine, the next fear of mine is a woman taking my kids from me and me not being able to see them. Me not being able to have access to my children. And this might sound crazy, but believe it or not, there are certain women that I will meet and I will curve them. I will literally stop fucking with them because I think that there's a chance in my mind that if me and you was to take this all the way and then turns out that it didn't work out, you would take my kids from me. I mean, if he see anything that might give him a shadow of a doubt that you're capable of doing something like that, he is never gonna want to marry you. He's never gonna want to marry you because everything's good when you good. When you getting everything you want, of course you nice. Of course you're not weaponizing sex against me. Of course you respecting me. Of course everything is good because everything is good. But who are you when everything is not good? Who are you when everything is bad? Any person that I would consider a op today, someone who's no longer my friend, maybe even somebody I would consider my enemy. There are certain things that are just beneath me that I would never do. It's just not a part of my character. It is not like me to stoop to a certain kind of low because I got morals, because I have a certain expectation and self-respect for myself. But everybody's not like that. Some people, when they're not getting their way, when they feel justified because they've been hurt and they didn't get the outcome out of life that they were expecting, they don't know how to fucking act. And the only thing they know is, well, if I can't have it my way, then you can't have nothing at all. You could put me on child support for these kids knowing damn well I'm a present father in these kids' life. You can do that as a woman. The power is in your hands. The ball is in your court. I'm in my safest position when I make a decision to prevent that from ever happening in the first place. And the only way you can prevent it is you got to see the crazy, man. You got to see the crazy in them eyes because if she told you she crazy, listen, she crazy. Believe her. Don't get her pregnant, then be surprised when she puts you on child support and take your kids to New Mexico. The sixth reason why he's afraid to marry you, because he probably believes that if he puts the ball in your court, if he allows himself to love you into a vulnerable position, because to have children with a woman, it's a vulnerable position for the both of us. No doubt about it. And for the woman, more vulnerable than the man. But it is indeed a vulnerable position for a man because the minute that he has a child with you, he has increased his chances of you being able to ruin his life. It's just the truth. And maybe that's a pessimistic way to look at it, but I have just seen way too many scenarios in my life where good men are put on child support and I don't know why. I got friends and homies, people that I've known my entire life, they on child support, and I don't understand why. They good fathers. They show up for their kids. They there for birthdays. They there for holidays. They want to spend time with their kids. I done had my homies kick me out the house because they said, nah, this daddy and son time. This daddy time, and I don't need to be doing that while all my homies around. So I'll link up with y'all later. Peace. I'm about to get closer to my son. I'm about to get closer to my daughter. Those same men are on child support when they don't deserve to be. And the only way you can really prevent that is, man, you got to see that crazy early, man. That's the only way. That's the only way. And with that being said, these are the 6 reasons why he's probably afraid to marry you. If you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Leave a comment, holler at me in my DMs. Let's have a dialogue about this, man. Because as you know, I don't want an audience, man. An audience is just here to spectate and look at things. What I want is a community. I want people who feel comfortable enough to reach out and tell me when they think I'm out of pocket, to tell me when they like what I said. That's what I want. I want people that I can engage with because you can't grow with an audience, but you can grow with a community. You can't build a brand with the audience, but you can build a brand with the community because there are people who have decided to stay. So that's what I'm trying to do, man. I want to build a community with y'all. And if you feel inspired by this, if you know anybody that could use this information, please send it to them. Let me know how you feel. And, before we get out of here, I got to tell you, as always, it's the spirit of the brand. Whenever I'm working, I will remember that done is better than perfect. And if I'm satisfied with my work, then that means I'm living in my purpose. And that's the spirit of the brand, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Let me know. Please leave a comment, leave a review. Oh, please leave some reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts because I don't think I have any right now. And to be honest with you, I'm not even entirely sure why reviews are important, but I know it's an important thing. I know it's something that you need to have if you want to grow. And I know it's something that you need to have if you want brands and people to take you serious. So please, if you don't mind, leave a review for me and tell me how you really feel. You don't gotta lie for me. You don't gotta cape. You don't gotta give it 5 stars if you don't think it's 5 stars. Make it 2 stars. I'm cool with that. Just tell me how you really feel. Please leave a review if you don't mind. Please go comment on, get in the mix, man. Come on, go find me on social media, man. Get in the mix, leave a comment, leave a share, repost some of my shit, send it to a friend, have an argument with your mama about it. Whatever the case is, man, I want to be a part of your life. I want to be in your ears, man. And if you're here, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys, man. There's been so much growth that has been happening since I started this podcast. It's really unbelievable. I didn't anticipate all this growth, and I definitely didn't anticipate having reels with 500,000 and 700,000 views and 30,000 likes and 600, 500 comments. I didn't expect none of that, but I'm very happy to have it. And with that being said, before we get out of here, you already know the spirit of the brand. Whenever I'm working, I will remember that done is better than perfect. And if I'm satisfied with my work, then that means I'm living in my purpose. Halfway up, y'all.